They always have sales too.
Yeah, I bought a used copy of Dark Souls the other day for $20. That came out 3 years ago. $20.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Of
course, you can get I looked at the same store. Final Fantasy VII is going for $70.
What?
Yeah,
$70.
Yeah, because it's a rare game because they don't get it in the store very often.
Right. Yeah.
And it's Final
Yeah.
Fantasy
Also,
VII.
yeah, I would never submit my Final Fantasy VII copy to a game store.
No.
I love that game.
Yeah.
Game's awesome.
Yeah, we're doing a Final Fantasy show July.
Yeah, let's do it in July. Why not?
Well, no, it's on the schedule for July.
It is?
Yep.
Wow.
Get on the ball, Rory.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited for what they're doing. The movie thing is a really intriguing idea. I would like to see movies. It must be insanely hard to be a Halo fan when Tekken gets movies.
Yeah. They got 3 movies.
They're all bad.
Well, the live action one was a good fighting movie. I wouldn't say it's like a Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah, no,
but it was a decent fighting movie.
Sure, yeah.
But the animated movies, they were awful. Watch the Spoonie reviews; they're hilarious.
Also, the biggest problem with Tekken is that Tekken has a totally implausible plot. It's impossible to follow.
There is a scene in the first Tekken animated movie where the main villain catches a tomahawk, which is an axe, with his mouth and eats it. He eats the blade of the tomahawk.
Yeah.
This is the also in Tekken is one of the games where you fight pandas. One of the player characters in Tekken is a panda.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
A panda. It's a fighting game, and you're fighting as a panda.
At no point does Tekken make any sense.
No.
You have an assassin who, for some reason, knows Aikido, because I guess the people who make Tekken don't know anything about martial arts.
And you have a Velociraptor with boxing glove. You have a boxing Velociraptor.
Like, that's a matchup you can have in Tekken. It doesn't make any sense at all. And also the guy who does the voice for the Asian characters has got to be American.
Yeah.
It's so exaggerated.
Yeah.
It's almost, I definitely can't do an impression on the air. I almost can't play you guys a clip.
It's kind of like if you've ever seen South Park when they do the one Asian guy in South Park, he's like, Mongolian, and he's like that really, really offensive
stereotype.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
That's exactly what it's like. It's crazy. I don't know how they've gotten away with it as long as they have. I guess it's because there's three people playing Tekken. Yeah. And they've I tried to follow Tekken. I have Tekken 2 right up through 5.
The storyline is so convoluted. For a fighting game to have a more convoluted storyline than Final Fantasy and Metal Gear Solid.
And they all have multiple endings for each character.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can I manage all of these different endings? Like, you play Tekken 4, if you play every character, and I almost have, you won't have any idea what happened to any of them by the end of the game.
Yeah.
There's no continuity whatsoever. They need to work on that.
But there is continuity because Jin in Tekken 6 is ruling the world and he has an army of tanks.
There is something, but it's never clear. I've never understood this, how the storylines transition from one Tekken game to another Tekken game. Because there's multiple endings. I always wonder which one they picked.
Because I just remember Jin being a good guy in one of the games, and then Tekken 6 is a bad guy and he has the power to become the devil.
Yeah, exactly.
The devil... Okay, you know what? We can't get into Tekken.
No, Tekken is too... But you're right, you almost always fight a devil or an ogre at the end of Tekken games.
Yeah.
Or Jin's great-grandfather, because he's still alive.
Grandfather, is it?
Nope.
You mean...
You're right, he is there too, but it's a great-grandfather.
Okay.
You can fight his dad, Kazuya. You can fight his grandfather, Heihachi, who's the one everybody knows.
Yeah.
He's been in other games too, right?
Yeah.
And you can also fight his great-grandfather, Jinpachi.
Oh.
Which is about the most stereotypical name you could have... And they couldn't even find a fighting style for this guy. They were like, he has, advanced Mishima fighting style. I'm like, he has an advanced style designed by his own family. So his own family's fighting style has a regular and an advanced. So I guess they just treat, they teach the regular one to the relatives they don't like.
Yeah.
And they teach the advanced one to the relatives they do like. That's presumably what's going on. Doesn't make any sense.
Jin, you seem to hear that you got a C in your history. Well, I'm going to teach you our regular fighting style. You don't get to learn the advanced fighting
this is
style.
the coconut throw.
Yeah. No, you don't get to play with the katanas and shurikens. You get the nunchucks.
Why do some guys in Tekken get swords?
Yoshimitsu gets a sword.
He has a sword.
There's one character introduced in Tekken 6, and she's an android, and electrified chainsaws come out of her arms. She has thruster packs, and she can shoot her arms at you like missiles. And she's fighting a panda. What kind of sense does that make?
And Anna fights in a dress. That's not a good fighting outfit.
No, I think isn't one of her finishing moves she whips out a bazooka or something like that?
Is that the one? No, there's one of them that does that.
Yeah, I think it's Anna.
It's totally nonsensical.
And I think her sister gets grenades as one of her weapons.
Right, yeah, her sister Nina, yeah. There's actual, like, there's relatives in this game.
Yeah.
And Nina has a son, I don't know if you know this.
Oh, God.
In one of the Tekken games, the British boxer.
Oh, God, my brain. No, I can't do it. No, I'm telling that's it for Tekken.
Good. I'm going to play Tekken sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's
tonight,
it for Tekken.
when I get home from Star Trek.
So is there anything else you want to talk about with the Xbox One? We're off of Tekken?
No, we're cool. I think, unless there's something else you wanted to mention, I think
how much time do we have?
We have just short of 4 minutes.
Okay, well...
No, we have more than... We have about 4 minutes.
Okay. I saw some of the gameplay for... they did show some gameplay and some design aspects of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Ghosts, yeah.
Impressive looking graphics. The story, it seems that they're focusing more... They're trying to make a more, like a better story than seen in previous Call of Duty games, which is not hard. Because, to be honest,
the Call of Duty
the Call of Duty games have their stories have ranged from really good to blisteringly awful.
Yeah.
So it looks to me that they're focusing more on story. It should be, and they got the director of. They got some big name director to.
What else did he do?
I'm looking now. They mentioned I've never seen these movies, but apparently they're Academy Award winning movies. So
okay, yeah. Hopefully, I know some of them.
Yeah,
that's sort of my job in the show is to know about movies and television when they're brought up.
Yeah. But graphically, it was impressive. It seems that like I said, they're focusing more on their on story. It looks impressive. The thing that really surprised me, it made by Infinity Ward. I did not. I thought Infinity Ward had split with Activision, was no longer making Call of Duty games.
Oh yeah, Infinity Ward. They don't make any sense on a consistent basis. Like some of their guys leave every now and again, and so like how much of Infinity Ward is really left anymore, I have no idea.
I will say that it's kind of boring. The story looks kind of boring because this is the premise. In the not too distant future, devastating attacks has forever changed the global balance of power, with the United States no longer recognized as a superpower. Stop making the United States seem like an underdog.
Yeah.
They're not. The United States is not a sympathetic character. The United States, if the entire world, if every country on the globe was a football player and we were in like some sort of underdog Cinderella movie, then the United States would be the 7-foot tall tank-looking guy who can like crack a coconut with his bare hands. That's the United States. You can't make that guy into a sympathetic. I don't know. It's just it just kind of, speaking as a non-American, it just seems kind of like
it looks ridiculous.
Hurrah,
it's like,
America kind of
to draw for our UFC fans out there, and Adam will know this too. It would be like Uriah Hall, the big scary guy who knocks people out. If you put him in a feather boa, he doesn't look any less scary.
No.
He just looks like Uriah Hall, big scary action figure man with a feather boa on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing here. They dress up the United States a little differently. And it's just terrible. I'm tired of the or the nation against nation disputes of Call of Duty. Like, change it.
How many times has Russia invaded and become the bad guys? I just think I remember in Call of Duty 2, Russia invaded the United States, and then in Call of Duty 3, they pull out of a two-prong attack on the United States and then take over Europe.
Yeah, no, it's lunacy. I actually think Bad Company does a much better job of making characters look sympathetic.
Yeah. But anyway, just before, because I think we have to go now.
Yeah, pretty much. Now,
okay, so I just want to read out our Facebook and Twitter pages again.
Yep.
So our Facebook page is www.facebook.com/The Aperture Show, uppercase T, uppercase A, lowercase s, no spaces, and then our Twitter page is
Twitter.com/The Aperture Show.
Yeah, just all lowercase, no spaces.
And YouTube is youtube.com/The Aperture Show, all lowercase, no spaces. And email is theaperture@gmail.com. But the first E in Aperture is replaced by a 3. Because that's just how I roll.
And I've linked all of this to our Facebook page. So if you have any trouble, just contact us there.
And if you miss an episode, listen to old episodes on YouTube, now in 1080p. And yeah, thanks for listening, folks.
Yeah, bye-bye.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.